People, we're back in Portsmouth, and this week we've got Cat Askew, a text-based artist.
So my work kind of crosses between like humour, protest and personal experience. Some art, like only some people get feelings from it or speak to it, but because my art is text-based, you kind of can't help but read it and think something about it. Because it's so direct, I can just say what I'm thinking in my art.
You made reference to like a few of your poems having like sort of sexual themes, sexual references. Why do you know?
Do you know what? I think it's because there's a part of me that just really admires just totally owning your sexuality. So I think I've got to decide not to care. Because if I did start to care, like, who's this going to offend? Who's going to be upset? I wouldn't be able to make my best work. But then it did make me think, do I need to hire a bodyguard? But my brother's like 6'4", so...
Cat.
Hi.
Yeah, welcome to the What's Going On show. The show where we shine a light on people doing things in communities. And you yourself, you are an artiste. And we're going to dive into a bit about that today. So, first things first, a little tradition I've got on this show is instead of me giving you an introduction, I'd like to just give it straight over to you. So, who in a nutshell is Cat Askew?
So I'm a text-based artist. I'm based in Portsmouth at the minute. So my work kind of crosses between like humour, protest and personal experience, particularly like relationships and dating, or sometimes it can cross over into people like in the media who just annoy me. And I like to just share my experiences through like slogan type artworks.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Let's take us back. So, you said you're from Portsmouth. So how was growing up for you, and was you always into art?
So I feel like I had a very normal childhood. I was lucky. Always stayed in the same house in Portsmouth. And I think I was always into art. Like, I definitely was a more obvious introvert when I was younger. Like, I was super shy. I remember being in an art class in school in year 7, and I was sat next to the art teacher, Mr. Padima in Priory, and just being like so nervous. And I think he could tell, kind of thing, but he was super nice, a good teacher. So it took me a few years to kind of come out of my shell, but I was always drawing, making things. I think that's just like my happy place. That's where I find my flow. Definitely. But it definitely took me another few years to kind of find my niche. Like, I studied art at uni, but it wasn't until a good few years after I left that I realised that like text, like angry and funny text, is like my calling.
Interesting. So, okay, dive into a bit there then. So, you said you were a naturally introverted person. Then why do you think you was shy? I was a shy kid, so I hear it, but why do you think you were shy?
God, I used to be so shy and so like nervous about things. I think I'm not, maybe it's just because I was a sort of child where I was happy, like kind of in my comfort zone. And I think maybe I'm the same now. Like, I always used to get kind of anxious sometimes if we went away places. Like, I always liked being back at home. And I think I'm kind of the same now. Like, I do like going away, like traveling and stuff, but it does make me nervous. But I don't know why I was shy. Like, my mum and dad were never like particularly like shy people or anything. I remember always on my school reports it would say that I was like a sensitive child, which I think is quite common for creative people. Like, oh, they're sensitive. And then I always kind of saw it as like not being a good thing. Like, I was like, I don't want to be this sensitive, because especially now where I'm like making art and saying what I want to say, and then maybe someone on social media like won't like it, and then like it will upset me, and I'm kind of like, I don't want to be upset. I need to just keep making what I need to make.
Interesting. So, art, you've always been doing art, and that was your calling. So you went to study art at uni. What was that like?
Doing art at uni, well, I think I struggled internally still with having like the confidence to be like, yes, art is my thing, because I think I still had a lot of background messages like, oh, you can never make money from it, you need to get like a proper job. So I combined fine art with art history, because I thought, right, that means I can still do the art, but then I've got the art history side of things, like maybe to like fall back on. So I loved uni. Uni was great. I loved the course. I went to Plymouth. I met some great people there. But I think because my head wasn't totally in it, like I wasn't totally confident about being an artist, I don't think I put my all into that fine art course. I kind of just thought, yeah, this is cool. I can explore some ideas. But I wasn't fully like in it. Like I remember I didn't even go to the like degree show because I was too hungover. So yeah, I think that says it all. Like I wasn't committed then, but since then I've kind of come full circle and found my style and realised this is me, this is what I need to do.
Okay, so I'll put a pin on the stigma around full-time artists and being paid. I'll put a pin in that, I'll come back to that. But how was it then finding your style?
Like, how did it come about?
How did it come about?
Do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I suppose I was kind of mucking around with, like, collage and things for a few years, and there was always kind of, like, a feminist and jokey edge, like a bit of wordplay. Like, I made a series of collages called the Sexual Flavours Collection, which had just puns based on confectionery, but there was like images of bondage and stuff in the collages, but it wasn't really driving me, like I wasn't feeling excited, and then I think I made the jump into text-based art when I started doing things as a joke. Like I'd just come out of like quite a toxic relationship, and I thought, right, I need to write myself a list of reasons not to call this man because I know it's a bad move. So I just wrote this list and like stuck it on the back of my phone. And then I thought, this is kind of cool. So I wrote a bigger list in like red lip liner just because I wanted that. I kind of wanted that edge to it, like that feminine edge, but also wanted to make it look a bit unhinged, which I think the lip liner, that's how it made it look. So I ended up sticking that to the inside of a phone booth, and I thought, this is cool. Something could happen with this. And then going back to making things as jokes, like my friends would say things that really stuck with me about this relationship. Like one of my friends said something like, I don't know if I can say this.
You can say it.
She said, you deserve more than a flaccid penis, because this particular guy used to rely on Viagra. But yeah, when she said that to me, that was great. Like, you know, when your friends say stuff about your ex and you're just kind of bitching about them, and it just... So I wrote that on a T-shirt for her. And then that kind of went from there. Like whenever my friends would say something that really stayed with me, I'd make it into a T-shirt. Like I think the first one I made was for my friend Laura, and it said, it was like, we're all like funny as fuck, and if anyone else thinks we're not funny as fuck, I don't care. Like that, I can't remember if that was exactly it, but that was the gist of it. And I was like, yes, Laura, that's going on a T-shirt. And it went from there. So the T-shirts then evolved into banners. Like I made one of my first ones I made was Tresemme is not used by professionals, because I'd done some kind of work with beauty products and the ridiculous claims that they made. And then that always annoyed me that Tresemme, that it says that on their products, and I'm like, no, it isn't. Like, it's not used in salons. Like, all the hairdressers I've spoken to say that it just weighs the hair down. Like, they don't use it. So I thought, well, this needs to be on a banner. And then I stuck it up on my bedroom window, and then that was that. And it kind of went from there. And people like respond to it. Like, everyone has a response, because some are like, only some people might kind of get feelings from it or speak to it, but because my art is text based, you kind of can't help but read it and think something about it, whether that might be like you think it's funny or whether you just think it's stupid. But I think that's what I like to do, because it's so direct. I can just say what I'm thinking in my art without actually having to be too confrontational in person, because in real life I'm not confrontational at all. I think that goes back to being a bit shy.
Interesting. So it comes out in your art?
Yeah, it all comes out in my art. Like, sometimes, I was going to say sometimes I can be a bit leery, but I don't think I really can. I feel like in person I'm normally quite like measured. I don't like to upset the boat kind of thing. Like, I've got this other t-shirt I made for my friend called Alpha Fucking Female, because I feel she is the alpha female of the group, and like, I'm not naturally like that. I think I've got like younger sibling syndrome. Like, I just kind of like to make someone else make all the serious choices and say the stuff that needs to be said, but then the stuff I want to say comes out in the art.
Well, at least it comes out, you know.
Oh yeah, it's got to come out. It's total therapy. It's got to come out somehow. Yeah, and now I've got the art.
Wow. So, okay, interesting. So, let's go back to the story then. So, cool. You find your style. You come out of uni, you find your style. Have you always? Because now you're a full-time artist. But have you always been a full-time artist, and how was that transition?
No, so I feel like even now I'm an accidental full-time artist, because I've always worked like at least part-time, like 4 days a week, to get obviously like regular income to save up, to hopefully buy a house. But then my life circumstances changed really quickly this year. Like, I moved in with someone, but then it didn't work out. We broke up and I quit my job, came back to Portsmouth. And my kind of intention was to get another part-time job, but then I just started making loads of art. And then I thought, I'm going to use this time. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to book an exhibition and use it as a brief, make loads of work. So that's where I'm at.
So how was it then? How was it taking that chance, taking that leap of faith, if you will, to become a full-time artist?
I feel like I can't even say, I took a chance, like I was really brave, because it kind of happened by accident. I feel like I just took advantage of the circumstances I was in. I think because coming out of that relationship, it also, like, I feel like my ex wasn't, like, he didn't really understand my work. He wasn't massively supportive of it, particularly the stuff that's about, like, dating and personal experiences. He never liked it. Like, I remember I wrote this quite a naughty poem called I Want to Work in Argos, where the gist of it is just basically ends up with me saying I want to fuck all the customers in Argos. Like, I don't know where that came from, it just came out of me. But he was just like, I don't like that poem, and my mum doesn't like it either. And I was like, why would I care what your mum thinks? But that was, yeah. So after that relationship ended, I was like, I can just make whatever I want now. I don't have to worry about you anymore. Yeah, so it just went from there.
Just a liberation feeling,
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, that's a question then. So, you've made reference to like a few of your poems having like sort of sexual themes, sexual references, but why do you think that is?
Good question. So this Argos one, do you know what? I think it's because there's a part of me that just really admires, like, almost, I don't know if bravery is the right word, but just totally owning your sexuality. And even if people say that you're a whore or whatever, I just think there's something about that woman that just fucks anyone she wants. And that's kind of what the character is like in this poem. She's just this woman who works in Argos. She's a shop whore. She doesn't give a shit. She maybe has sex with the boss, maybe has sex with the customers, and she doesn't care about all the stigma of just, yeah. I think there's something in me that just wants that liberation.
Nice. So do you believe, so about the stigma then around women having sex, alright, here's a scenario for you. So there's a stigma obviously in society where when women have a lot of sex with men, they're seen as someone unsavoury, let's say that. But when men do it, is it given the same view, in your opinion?
No, it's not. Especially, I think, maybe with younger men. Actually, I don't know. It could be the same with older men too. Like, it's because it's more like if they get to have sex, it's like a prize. It's like a prize they've won, kind of thing. But when women have sex, it's almost like, because it's so easy for us to find a partner, it's not seen in the same way. It's not like a prize for us. It's almost like, oh, you let yourself down there. Like, you shouldn't be sleeping around. Like, you're dirty or whatever. There's a lot. I think there's a lot to unpack there.
There is. We could be here all day. Okay then, cool. So liberation is what you're seeking through your art.
I guess, yeah, I am.
Nice. So, okay then, cool. So back to where we put in the pin. So becoming full-time artist now, there's a stigma around artists not being paid at all, not being paid high amounts. But what is the reality of going full-time as an artist?
Oh, for me, the reality is I'm not expecting to make a regular income from art like for years. I feel like it's going to take me a very long time, because it's not just like, oh, I can make something and then just sell it. Like, there's whole dynamics of how to actually sell artwork, because it's not just like making a product and doing the marketing for it. It's totally different. Like, there's a whole emotional experience to like buying and selling, and there's obviously different ways to make income from art. Like, you can work with organisations, or you can be employed freelance, but the way I realised I would like to do it is hopefully just to make really good work, and then sell it, have it acquired, maybe sell it to individuals or to organisations. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to go full time and then just be raking it in. And then it's working out all the different avenues of selling. Like, I've got things at different price points that need to be marketed in different ways. Like, I've got my lower price prints and t-shirts that I might be able to sell through Instagram and Etsy, like if I'm lucky. But then the higher stuff, the higher price stuff, like this flag, that's a bit more difficult, because it's almost like you need it to be people to see that it has value, and that's like a whole river of things to work out. And I think for an artist, it takes time to make people see that you have value, and giving them different ways that they can connect to your work and to you, to make them actually want it. Like, they share your kind of vision, they see something in that work and they think, I've got to have that.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think about other artists and how they've sort of gone about doing that. And I guess, I know. I guess there is no one set path in art, is there, really and truly? I mean, you said it there, like, I hear it, I hear the vision. But yeah, interesting. All right, well, yeah, fair enough. Okay, so back to the sort of feminist liberating energy there. So How important is it for you to be a voice for other women?
I feel like that's a really big responsibility, to be a voice for all other women, because I know there's so many different branches of feminism, and it's speaking to other women recently about things in my work, and the alpha female art particularly, like that phrase lands differently for different women. So I feel like all I can do is I can bring my own experience as a woman into my art, and then my own honest, real experience, and then hopefully other people identify with it. Maybe they see some kind of the strength or the humour in my work, and it makes them feel seen. But I would be very worried about being, what was it you called it? Like a... What was the question again?
What, a voice for women?
Voice for women. I think I'd be concerned about being a voice for women, because that's almost like I'd be like the mayor of women. Like I think all I can do is come at things from my unique perspective, and hopefully people identify it, because everyone's going to see my work from their own lens, and I kind of can't control that. I can just put it out there and hope for the best.
I get that. So how was you said the reception, or how people have received it, has been widespread, but what would you say the main demographic or the main sort of characteristic of a person who does look at your work is?
I keep being like surprised at the sort of people that are attracted to it. Like I would have thought, like I went on this like business workshop, and you had to identify your ideal customer, and I was like, okay, it's probably a woman, probably, or someone like that identifies as a woman, between the ages of like 25 and maybe 50. But then when I've been at shows and stuff, and I've been talking to people about my work, like men have come up to me and said how much they love it and how they think it's great. And that happened a lot when I did Pose last October, the Portsmouth Open Studios event. Like I was speaking to a lot of men about it, and that was really good to see, because I think I was always worried that some of my work would push some men's buttons, and they would maybe get a bit defensive, particularly the reasons not to call him stuff, where it's loads of different stories from dating. But no, a lot of men just, they could see it was lighthearted. They saw the humour in it, and some of the times they'd read the stories and they'd be like, "Really? Did that really happen?" I'd be like, "Yeah, that's what it's like." So yeah, I think I'm learning more and more that my work doesn't just appeal to women at all. It's a wider audience.
Interesting. Okay, so tracking back a bit. So you said your work, text-based, kind of, in a way, stems from a toxic relationship?
Yeah, I think that's how it started, because when you leave a relationship, well, when I leave them, I get angry for a bit. And then I think that's where the angry text came about, because even though like I'm an artist, I'm visual, I'm also so into like writing. Like when I have ideas, I don't necessarily draw them, I write them down, like I make lists. So I am like, I want to say I'm like one with the words, but that makes it sound like an idiot. Yeah, so I think that's where the first lot of reasons not to call him came from. And then I suppose I was still making work when I was single and about the dating, and then my most recent work has come out of a breakup. Like I think that is where some of my best stuff comes from. Like lately I've been thinking I need to stop making this stuff that's about my ex. I need to move on and make things that are more joyful. But sometimes you think about it, or I think about it, and then I get annoyed and I'm like, I just need to make, because it's like my therapy, I just need to get it out. So I feel like I'll probably be making some more stuff about my past relationship for a little while longer, and then hopefully I'll get over it and then make some different stuff.
Fair. Okay, so that's what I was going to say. So I was literally trying to think about in my head how I'm going to phrase this. So you're not a voice woman because you don't want to be, because that's quite high pressure. But with your work kind of fitting in the sort of feminist realm, let's say that. But men do mess with it as well, so they do vibe with it.
Yeah.
But how do you feel that, you know, some people might view you as sort of hating men?
Oh, yeah. That was something I was kind of a bit worried about. But I don't hate men, like, at all. Sometimes you can get into this, like, if you've met a few dud ones, you can just be a bit like, oh, like, there's no good ones left or whatever. But I don't, and I think I'm hoping that comes across, that it is all, like, light-hearted. Most of it is really light-hearted, my work, like, and it's just the sort of stuff you might say to your friends, like, in the pub, like, I feel like that's the way I communicate. There's always going to be a humorous edge, because I think that helps to get a message across without people being, hopefully, getting defensive. So yeah, I've never had anyone say to me, like, what's your problem with men? Like, do you hate men? So I'm hoping that people don't think that.
No. Well, I don't think that. I'll say that. No, I don't think that. So, yeah, because I looked at some of your work and I was interested. I mean, for example, what does this one say?
No. So it says, note to self, check that new partners don't have racist family members before committing.
That's hilarious.
So do you want to know the backstory?
Go for it.
For that one? So yeah, to my most recent relationship, so I was added to his family chat, where various family members would be on it, and they'd be talking about things that were happening, and like elections and their views, and sometimes it would just get, like, quite dark. I just didn't identify with the things that some of his family members were saying at all. Like, the thing that really upset me was, for some reason, we got on the subject of Muslims was being talked about in the chat, and then my ex's brother said, oh, everyone at my work hates Muslims, and I was just like, what? Like, so I just replied, like, that's crazy, like, I don't know anyone that hates Muslims, that this is not my world. And then he replied with, like, a list of statistics, like, of why it's okay to hate Muslims, basically, and that was just disgusting. So I, like, thought, fuck this. Like, there'd been other stuff that had been said and gone on in the chat, like, about how much they love reform, and stuff like that, and other things, and like, that they thought that Donald Trump was like, oh, I quite like him now, and I'm like, what planet are you all on? So I left the chat, and it did really upset me, and it was one of them things where I just thought, I don't, like, my values are here and their values are there. I can't be with this person, like, long term, because he's so tied up with his family. I just thought, I don't think this is going to work. Like, it's not the sort of thing I can just forget about. Like I said to my ex how upset I was, and he was like, oh, why can't you just ignore it, like we all do? And I'm like, that's part of the problem, that you've all just ignored it. Like, if we just all ignore the stuff people say, I can't. Like, yeah, so it made me think, this is obviously such a big thing for me. Like, in future, it made me think I need to do, like, background checks. Like, does your mum vote reform? Because if she's going to be talking about that stuff, I can't, it's almost like I can't be sensible and logical about other people's views when they're that hateful towards people of other races. So yeah, that's why I made the flag, just to remind myself, like, next time, if I do meet someone again, like, make sure that we're aligned with our, like, views and values.
That's shocking, by the way, as well,
Do
isn't
you think?
it? Shocking,
Yeah, and
especially.
and his brother's like 31 as well.
Wow.
Like, I just thought that most people who have these views are normally older.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Bloody hell. So, something that came into mind just now was, because you do sort of openly speak about stuff like this, and after relationships you say some, great stuff, right? Some really pushy stuff. I'm not saying you would, but do you ever run the risk of, because I've interviewed people in the past that have been part of coercive relationships and all of this stuff, and luckily you haven't, but...
Haven't I?
Oh, I don't know, you tell me.
I've asked ChatGPT about what was going on, and they were like, there's some elements of like manipulation there. But anyway.
Wow. So yeah, because that was the only thing I would sort of... Like, do you ever worry about them retaliating, is where I was getting at?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, someone asked me this recently, like, am I ever worried that they're going to see this stuff and then come back to you? But I think with the reasons not to call him stuff, I was writing a reason about various men that I dated, and none of these men ever got into contact with me like, why have you made this art about me? I think because once we'd stopped dating, they just didn't care, didn't ever look at my Instagram again or anything. So that never came, and it was all anonymous. I wasn't like, oh, this is Dave about this one. Actually, most of them are anonymous. So that never came back. So it gave me, I just thought, I'm just going to make more stuff, more personal stuff. And sometimes I do worry about this, and now saying it on a podcast, because it's more likely that he or his family are going to see it. But then I'm like, that's what I make, that's my art, that's how it comes out. And I feel like it's the same with music. Like, people are going to be writing about their exes and how it made them feel. Maybe my work is more specific and direct. Maybe it's not okay, like, but then maybe I don't care. Like, if they do get in touch, like, why have you said all this stuff about me? Like, I'm just like, well, why are you so racist then? I wouldn't, if you like...
Mic drop.
If you had better critical thinking skills and didn't believe everything, you read on if your algorithms made you like crazy into reform and stuff, like, yeah. So I think I've got to decide not to care, because if I did start to care, like, who's this going to offend? Who's going to be upset? I wouldn't be able to make my best work. But then it did make me think, do I need to hire a bodyguard or something? I don't know, but my brother's like 6'4", so...
Oh, wow, it's a unit.
I'm hoping he's got my back.
Yeah, so yeah, but it's not, what's the word? I can't think, but it's not basically faltering on your values. It's not, I can't think of a better word there, but it's not, you stick to your values. And I think that's what I see through all of this, is you stay for your values no matter what. And I think that's what is brave. That's what's cool, Interesting. I was really intrigued in that. So, okay, cool. So that's where we're at with your art. Now, what's the one behind you? What does that say?
Oh, if I want to be hungover at a baby shower, then I will be.
Yeah, so that one I saw online, I laughed out loud to that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's actually hilarious. Because I have done that, and I was like, so what? It's hilarious.
Happens, doesn't it?
It does. Okay, so yeah, being unapologetically you is something that I'm hearing through a lot. Now, obviously some people really struggle to be themselves. How would you encourage or point people in a direction of becoming more them?
I feel like to be more yourself, it also helps if you have people around you that let you be you and love who you are. Maybe that's not always easy if you've got family members, or maybe even toxic friendships of people that maybe wouldn't, or you feel wouldn't like get you as you. But that's helped me be me. Like, my friends are all really supportive, and I've been so lucky that my family are too. I think another thing is, if you don't already have your tribe, find your tribe. Like, whatever you're into, find those people that see things kind of how you do, and then you'll hopefully feel more at home to be yourself. But it also can come with practice. Like, confidence can just come with practice, like, even if you don't feel it. So maybe it will just be like, you'll actually say to someone how you truly feel about something once, and even though it's scary, then you can just build from there.
Big time. So removing toxic people from your life, that's what it's all about. Now, how do you spot someone who's toxic?
Oh, good question. I feel like I'm not very good at it, for looking at my past relationships. How do I spot someone that's toxic? Sometimes you can just feel it. Because this is going to sound really nerdy, but I feel like at least 60% of human communication is like body language. So I feel like maybe you don't even have to speak to someone that long. You can just feel that this person kind of has negative vibes, and then over time, more and more stuff they say. I feel like I'm not being very specific, but it's almost like intuition sometimes. But then sometimes you can't tell. Like, I'm sure you've heard of the phenomenon like love bombing.
Please expand.
Love bombing is when you first meet someone and then they like shower you with gifts and compliments and say like they love you and they want to move in with you, and they get you into this like sense of security, and then they like slowly start maybe like putting you down a little bit more and more, and then you think, how can we get back to those wonderful times? And then they be a bit nice to you, and then you feel really good again, but like they've kind of got their hooks in there, because at the beginning they love bombed you. So I feel like in the past I've not been able to tell a toxic person, because maybe I've been love bombed a bit and I've only realised what that person was really like over a period of time. But then with some people it just takes a long time to see who they truly are. So sometimes it's intuition, sometimes you just can't tell.
True. So true. So how do you get rid of them then from your life?
I suppose in a relationship it's almost more easy, because you can just break up with them. Well, I suppose some people, maybe it's not always easy to break up with someone because it's such a big thing, such a big change, and you just think, it'll be easier if I just stayed, like, this is normal, I'm used to this now, I'll just stay. But then maybe more and more bad things happen, and then you just think, nah, it's time to go. But like, if you've got like a toxic friend or family member, that can be a bit more difficult. I suppose you just need to have your boundaries in place. With family, like, definitely have boundaries, like maybe you're going to limit on how long you see them and when and where and with who. That can make it easier. And like toxic colleagues, I've had a fair few toxic colleagues. All I ever do is quit the job. Like, I'm not very good at managing, like, if there's a toxic stuff going on at work, maybe I could kind of work through it, maybe like do some workshops on how to deal with people like this, but I've always just quit the job. I've always just left. And that's what I do in my relationship. If it's not working out, just leave. Like, but then I feel like, to be fair, in the relationships I've had, it's not the sort of thing that we could work on and fix. So I think I'm okay.
Yeah. It seems like relationships are easier to leave than, toxic family, toxic friends, toxic colleagues, because that's how you pay your bills.
Because you work with them. Yeah, so that's a difficult one. Like, toxic colleagues, I don't know. I feel like if you've got a group chat you can have moan about your colleagues in, then that's good. That can help release it. That's all I can say there.
Fair. I thought of the word as well, not compromising on your values. Come on. It took a while. But, okay. So, bringing us to the current day then. So, currently we're sitting in City Art Space. Now...
Art Space Portsmouth.
Art Space Portsmouth. And so, what have you got coming up next? I heard that you've got an exhibition of some kind.
Yeah, so I've got an exhibition coming up in September called Alpha Females. So the opening night is on the 5th of September in the evening, and then it carries on until the 21st. So yeah, all here in the gallery at Art Space Portsmouth.
Interesting. Now, cool. That's cool. Stay tuned for that one. But how was it setting up your own exhibition? How was it leading up to it? Because I think this is your first exhibition, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's my first proper one. Like I've done small ones before, like I had one in a phone booth, but this is a whole different kettle of fish. So I guess the first thing was making the work, and luckily that's come quite naturally because I've had more time and things have been happening in my life. So I've been able to produce work from that. But I suppose like the whole getting people to actually come to the exhibition, that's a whole nother thing that I've kind of had to learn about, like the marketing and things like that. But it has been fun. And because I feel like, because it's all about me, that sounds so self-centered, but I guess it is. Like, it's my work, it's my exhibition. But because it's my thing, because I'm passionate about it, it's been fun to do the work. There will be some other local artists showing some pieces in it as well, just because if the exhibition was all my work, I feel like, although that's amazing, I still wanted to bring some other artists in there. It's almost so like their work can have conversations with my work. And I think it's always easier to do things when you've got a bit of support as well. So I did want a couple of people in there that I know that can maybe help me out and give feedback. Like when I start to put it up and things, that would be difficult.
Mm-mm. Something pops up there. So you said it's all about you. Now, it is. It's art, right? It's your expression and all this. So the only question I have is, in the art space, I've heard that a lot of artists have egos and they make it all about them, and they can be quite self-centered, literally. I don't find you self-centered, but I know a lot of artists, I've heard of them, that are. Now, what has been your view since you've been in the space of other artists? Are they that supportive?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I've found. Like all the artists I've met, we've all got the same kind of thoughts. Like no matter where they might be in their career, everyone still feels like they're winging it, which was really interesting to me. And I was at a talk with some established sculptors, and he just said, I don't sell work, like, which really surprised me because he's so established. So I feel like once you get to know people, you can see that you're all kind of on the same page. And I feel like artists, all the ones that I've met have been great. It's like a whole community, like really supportive, really helpful. I don't know, maybe as time goes on I'll meet some more that maybe have a bigger ego. But that's okay.
That's okay, yeah. We don't judge. That's interesting, yeah, because I've heard in the past that some artists can be arseholes. And I just wanted to really hear your views on that. But you've not met any, so that's positive.
No, I've not. Or maybe it's just gone over my head. Like maybe they were an arsehole and I just thought like that was great. No, but I've got a friend who works for a big name artist and he sounds like he is such a drama queen. Like quite hard to handle. So maybe that's something that happens when you become more successful as an artist. If you've got a big name, maybe that's something that happens. Have to watch out.
Watch this space. Hey, gosh. Actually, don't talk to me. Okay, cool. So, nice. So, Alpha Female, you say it's called? Why have you named it Alpha Female?
Alpha females.
Females, sorry.
That's all right. I think because I feel like a key piece of my work was the t-shirt that I made for my friend Amelia, Alpha fucking female, because that was so strong. And then the pictures I took of her in it were really strong. And to be honest, when I was thinking about the publicity for the exhibition, thinking about that picture really stood out. So I thought, yeah, I definitely want to use that. And I think I made it plural, alpha females, because so much of my work involves things my friends have said. Like the, if I want to be hungover at a baby shower, then I will be. That's a classic quote from Charlie Baxter. And she has featured in like 3 or 4 pieces of my work now. She's the sort of person that will walk into a pub and then 4 different people will be like, all right, Char? Like, they'll just know her. So I made her a t-shirt that says big name in Portsmouth on it, and I call it the B-Nip. So, yeah, so like Stephen Morgan would be like a B-Nip, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's why I called it Alpha Females, because even though I've said it's selfish and it's about me, a lot of my work, like the banners I've made for my friends, the t-shirts I've made for my friends, so it's like my little cohort of inspiration all together in one space.
I'm popping off questions here, they're all pinging off. So, getting more traction, being a B-Nip, right? How would you deal with that? Would you want to be a B-Nip?
If I was a
Yeah,
B-Nip.
if you was a B-Nip, like a Stephen Morgan.
I think if anyone like said to me like, oh, I've seen, like they thought I was a B-Nip, I would just try and make them see that I'm not. Like, don't put me on a pedestal, like I'm just normal, really. I wouldn't say I really want to be a B-Nip myself. Maybe it might happen by accident by doing stuff like this. But then I just wanna make art, and hopefully sell art. So I don't know. Maybe that's the way to go.
Yeah, it's weird because I only asked that because I guess in art, in things where you express yourself, that is the only destination in a way. You know, like when it's all said and done. And I'm just like, how would you manage that?
Shit.
There's no turning back now.
Oh. I think as the journey goes on, of maybe becoming better known, I would just still do what I do now, is I'd seek advice and just talk about stuff with my friends, like this is happening, like this is how I feel about it, because that always keeps me kind of grounded. And same like talking to my family about it as well. But I feel like if it does kind of happen, me becoming more well known, it will happen quite slowly, so I'll be able to digest it as it happens.
Nice. Well, cool. That brings us to a lovely close on this part. So, cool. We're expecting the exhibition next, but do you have a plan ahead?
I do have a plan. So after the exhibition, I'm hoping to go back and get a normal job, because I really would like to get a mortgage and buy my own place. But then that means I could have my own studio and hopefully make bigger, better work. So that's the plan.
Interesting. Well, stay tuned. And yeah, looking forward to it. But no, it's been great hearing a bit about your story. I've enjoyed it. We
Me
pushed
too.
it. It's been I'm glad.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Well, yeah, let's crack on with part 2 and then we'll resume.
There's a part 2.
There's a part 2.
Okay.
So we look at the questions in the
Okay.
stream. So, all right, cool. So it's been great, and
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. It's been great.
Oh, it's been great. All right, cool. You're welcome. Let's do this. Cool. Kat, welcome to part 2 of the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, we made it through part 1. Nice. And so yeah, part 2 is when we go out into the street and we ask a question. You don't know what question it is. I can't remember what question it is, but
Okay.
I do remember what question it is. But we're gonna react, and but yeah, feel free to stop at any time. Feel free to watch it right through. It's only 2 minutes, so let's just go ahead with it. When was the last time you went to an art gallery?
Oh, I'm actually an illustration student, so like 2 years ago, which is bad, but yeah, 2 years ago.
Okay, why did you go? Why?
I don't know, I guess I haven't been unless it's like for educational purposes, which is actually quite bad as an artist.
When was the last time you went to an art gallery?
Yeah, I don't think you should ask them. I don't think they've ever been to.
Yeah. We're visiting here, so just arrived today.
Okay.
So I've never been to the art gallery.
Any art gallery in
Any? No, it's been a while, long time ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's been a while.
When was the last time you went to an art gallery?
For me, like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Interesting. What did you see?
I saw a ceramics museum, and they had lots of different pots and stuff.
Okay. And what about yourself?
I don't know if I went to the Museum of Mental Health.
Okay. Fair.
That was like a month ago, but an actual art museum, a year plus.
Fair.
When was the last time you went to an art gallery?
A few days ago, probably like Thursday.
Really? What did you go and see?
Friday actually. I went to London. I can't remember which one it was, but just we were having a little look around, and we went into. Oh no, it was the Imperial War Museum. But besides that, there was also another one in centralish London, which was a lot of paintings to do with Napoleon and just very old school, like 1800s, like and I guess up to modern time. There were a few contemporary artists, of course, looking back at things from the past. But yeah,
Why did you go?
love art, love museums, love the history of it all.
Okay, cool.
I really wasn't expecting him to say I love art because he sounded so bored. Paintings of Napoleon, I was like, I'm bored.
So, I guess, what's your thoughts on the video?
It's kind of what I expected when you said when's the last time you went to an art gallery, because I know there's this whole thing about like galleries really want to have, well, some public art galleries really want to have social inclusion because a lot of people just don't go there. They don't feel like it's for them. Yeah. It's like this almost kind of like sacred space. They're like these intimidating buildings with like columns and stuff, and it does make you feel a bit funny about going in if you've not been in there before.
Yeah, I agree. It is. I mean, do you go to art galleries?
Yeah, I try and go whenever I can. I think the last one I went to was, I suppose here. I mean, for our open studios. But yeah, last time I went to was Aspects, for the show they had there, and then there's Plant House Gallery in Chichester, and I love going up to London to see shows there because it really helps enrich my experience as an artist. Like, it makes me feel like alive.
Yeah, interesting. Now, I was intrigued on that because a lot of, I don't know, I've spoken to a lot of rappers in the past and they say they don't listen to other people's rap. They only listen to their own stuff and they only grow on their own stuff. So that was my question to you: is so you say you do go
that.
to art galleries to get inspiration a little.
I love that the rappers are like, I only listen to myself. Like, I don't need anyone else. Yeah, definitely, because I think it goes back to like the finding your tribe thing. Like, once you see other people doing it, it just makes you think, yeah, I need to get back to what I'm doing as well, because it is good, it is important. Like, I've gone to this show and it's made me feel this way, and I know that my art is important because it makes other people, like, it lights them up inside. So yeah, and it does inspire me to my own work as well. Like, that's how I've always, I think that's how it starts off in school as well. When you study art, you look at other artists, and you almost make your own funny little version of art that's copying from them. That's how you start.
That's really good, yeah. Because I remember as well, not just a rapper, but I actually spoke to a poet before. I won't mention the name, but they said they find other people's work boring. They find it uninspiring. So yeah. So
I love that. Poetry's shit, apart from mine.
So yeah, I find it really interesting that you take little snippets, because it is true. Like I say for my own work as well, when you're making a video, who doesn't watch films, who doesn't watch TV? So you kind of get inspiration from there. So no, I fully hear it. So yeah, any other thoughts on the video?
Yeah, it's what I expected, but it also makes me think. I suppose it's a thing that a lot of galleries and artists think about, like how can I tempt these people to come in? Because some people, I feel like they're just like, I don't get art, don't understand it. But art is for everyone, and I feel like sometimes when people go in a gallery, like I was with someone and he'd never been to an exhibition before, so I took him to the Sarah Lucas one at the Tate, which was and he just loved it, but it was never something he'd thought about doing before. And how can we get people to just try it and come in, because they might really like it. Like it's a whole different type of entertainment. Going into gallery is so different from like going to the cinema or going to the pub. Like it's just different. I really like it, obviously, but I'm an artist.
No, I like it too. It is different. You do go there, and it's what you make of it as well, I think. If you actually get immersed in what's on show, if you actually, if you interact with it, because I've been to some where it was really abstract. I went to one in Norway, in Oslo, and it was so abstract, and I was like, is this contemporary art or contemporary art? That's what the thing I went away with. And it is subjective, I get it, but is it not hit and miss? Would you say it's hit and miss?
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I've gone to shows or museums and I've just been like,
It's okay.
I've just been like this isn't for me. But even sometimes when it's bad, not bad art because it's all subjective, but when it's something that I don't connect with, I still find it useful, because it almost adds. This sounds really pretentious, but it like adds to like the landscape of what I'm thinking about. Like I don't want to go down that road. Like that didn't land with me, so I would not do something like that. But yeah, no, it's definitely hit and miss for sure. And I'd say if you go to an art gallery and then you just didn't like it, maybe try a different one. Try a different one somewhere else. You never know.
Fair. Well, we've heard it there first. Okay, so. Yeah, that brings us to a lovely close on there. Any closing thoughts?
I really liked the guy that took ages to reply because he couldn't remember when he last went to a museum, and it was like 5 days ago.
Yeah.
I really liked him.
It's really funny because that guy, I literally bumped into him in the street, but he is my housemate. And it was a coincidence. I was literally walking down and I bumped into him, and he was like, "I'll take part." So it's funny that you say that.
Because I would not have guessed that he was your housemate. Like, there's just something about his vibe, and then he's so unexpected, and because he just seemed really bored when he was talking about the Imperial War Museum and these paintings of Napoleon, and he was like, "Oh, I love art," but at the end, really?
So yeah, don't hold back. It's fine. He's Oh, legend. Well, no, cool. That brings us to a lovely close on that part then.
Thank you.
It's been lovely. It has been lovely, and I've really enjoyed it today. I really have. But yeah, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.